Good morning. I have just stood here for 5 minutes kind of doing this while my washer finishes its spin cycle. Oh, there it goes. Let me turn that off. Yeah, so I didn't want you guys to hear a washing machine spinning away in the background, and I unfortunately don't have a door on my utility to close off the area so that you don't hear it. So anyway, right, we've got a busy weekend. There's a lot of organisation to do that I kind of been putting off. So I'm just gonna get cracking on. I got these, I think I showed you in one of my previous videos, but I got these little jars from Amazon, and they came with stickers. They're spice jars, if you couldn't already tell. I'm sure you could. So they've got pre-made stickers like this. You can just pop them on the jars and have really nice, pretty jars. The only downside to this is that I had to handwrite the tops, like the top stickers. So I think what I'm going to do, because I really hate that this is handwritten and this is printed. Also, not all of the rectangle ones came with the right labels. Like there was some spices and herbs missing from the pack. So I think I'm going to actually make my own labels. I mentioned it in a previous video. I can't remember which one, but eventually when I get a bit of time, I'm gonna make my own labels. But for now, I'm gonna fill up the paprika one because that one's empty, and I have a spare one of that. And then I actually only have 4 jars left. So, but I've got 5 ingredients. These ones I've already got out the cupboard. I already have a coriander one, I have a ginger one, and I have a Cajun one. So they are currently in the cupboard, not fully empty yet. So I think I'm going to put these ones in the pantry. And then, apologies if you can see like the absolute chaos, by the way, in the background. We have not washed up yet. The dishwasher needs emptying. So this is a later problem right now. So yeah, I'm going to put these in the pantry. They can sit to one side, and I have 5 left. But this one's bay leaves, and it's literally just leaves. So I think I'm just going to keep that one in its container, and then the rest I'm going to pot up. And the box, the little kit, came with 2 different lids for each one. Oops. So you've got one with like bigger circles cutouts and one with smaller ones and like a little cap, I guess. I think I've been using the bigger one for the herbs and the smaller one for the spices, just so that I didn't end up getting like a huge amount of spice coming out. And then the kit did also come with a little funnel as well. This one's rubber. I would have preferred like a metal one, because with it being rubber, the spices and the herbs kind of stick to it. So I'm going to do my best to try and decant these and get them going. Yeah, so that's my first task of the day. I feel like should I get a tea towel? This can be a bit of a messy job, I have found. So I'm just gonna do this, try and pop this lid off. They do actually come off really easily. I think I've destroyed my nails so much. I don't really, seeing as I'm not having them professionally done now at the moment, I have taken really bad care of my nails. It's always been a thing. I'm not very good at it, and polish and stuff doesn't stay. So it is what it is. So this is why I would prefer a metal funnel, but I don't have one, so we're just going to have to run with it. Yeah, because I feel like I'm like, what are those things, like bellows? I feel like I'm putting like spices in a jar with like those big bellows, which is quite ridiculous. But yeah, this is going to take me a little while. But if I can get it done today, then that's another job I don't have to do next weekend. Because I'm actually off work this week. So Monday, we are getting in the car and we are taking, I would say a staycation because I'm still going to be in the UK, but it's not. It's technically another country. I'm going to go to Wales for a few days with Danny and my family. I'm really excited. I've never been to Wales. So we're doing a little bit of a road trip. We're going to stop on the way and go see a really lovely castle. And we're going to be staying in Newquay, not Newquay, Cornwall, Newquay, Wales. So we've got a few activities planned. We're only going to stay for 5 days, so it's not going to be a super long trip, but it's just like a cute little getaway before like winter really and autumn comes into season. Autumn then winter, not the other way around. Okay, I'm getting a little bit full of my paprika. So yeah, so that's why the laundry's been running. We're just making sure all our clothes that we want to take a wash, cleaned, ready to go. I'm probably going to be packing tomorrow. I have to say, I absolutely love the smell of nutmeg. It smells amazing. By the way, so you will have to let me know if the audio is a little bit better on this video, because when I was editing the last one, I felt like I was being very quiet. Like I had to really whack up the audio in some of the clips, and I wasn't entirely sure why. I didn't know whether it was because I'm in the kitchen and there's not really like a lot of soft surfaces to absorb like echo sort of sound. I wasn't sure. So I'm using my microphone today. I can just spy Daisy sneaking her little face into the cupboard, into the pantry. Thankfully, there's nothing in there for her or that she would want. We keep her food in a different cupboard. But yeah, so you'll have to let me know if the audio is better with me using a little microphone. Because I genuinely don't know if it's because I am in the kitchen. It's quite a big room because it's a kitchen dining, and then the utility is open. There's no door on it. We keep the bathroom door open downstairs because that's where Daisy's litter is, and the kitchen, the like door to the kitchen is also open, and that is because we don't want her to feel like she's stuck in one room. So yeah, please let me know. Getting the last sticker on for the nutmeg. It really irritates me though that I have to handwrite the top ones. If you find some of these jars online somewhere. Oh, I forgot to put the tops on. Damn. What do I want? I want that one. Those little tops. If you find some other jars, whether it's online, on Amazon or a different company, and if they have both these printed and these printed, please let me know, because the tops, none of the tops were printed, which I thought was really bizarre. Like, why print one and not the other one? I don't know. Anyway, let me show you the finished result. Look how much nicer this looks. Oh, it brings me so much happiness. There's all my spice jars. However, the rest of the cupboard does not bring me joy. I don't think there's anything I can really do about this, because like I'm not going to decant Worcester sauce or stem ginger or salt into any other kind of containers. I'm not, no, I don't even know why you would want to. But yeah, this brings me joy at least. I'm happy with it. Okay, so, my bay leaves, they need to go back in. Okay, so they're the ones that are going into the pantry, so I don't need to do anything with those right now. I'm going to throw these into the recycling as well. Just chuck out any remaining bits of spice. Oh, I don't want the lid on that. Okay, that's going to get washed. I will deal with that later. Okay. Okay, so I am now going to have a very quick pantry organisation. I had mentioned it on my last video and I never got round to it. So I think today's the day. I'm going to do my best to try and get that organised. That has a blank sticker on it. Do you know what? I'm going to check that. It has a blank sticker on it. So yeah, let's see if I can do the pantry. And then that's the pantry done. They're my extras. They are also staying in the pantry, and these are my extra spices. Okay, so this is what I'm working with. I think I'm going to keep the bottom as all the spare cookbooks. Then I think there might be space for a couple of the vases, because they're just vases I keep in here until I've got some flowers. And then I think the next row should be probably like baking ingredients and stuff. There's a couple of plates which I know are valuable, so I don't really want to do anything with those. They're just going to probably stay there. And then, yeah, I'm going to see if I can tidy this up a little bit. Okay, I think this is the quickest organisation I've ever done. So I've got all my cookbooks and Danny's cookbooks on the bottom half. On the very bottom shelf, I've got two vases that I kind of like switch out depending where I'm placing flowers. I've got a couple of wine glasses. Then on this shelf, we've got some keepsake plates. We've got all the spice jar. What am I trying to say? We've got all the spice jar spare bits. Up here, I've got some spare tea bags as well for like loose tea. We've got, okay, so let me tell you about this. My mum got me this in last Christmas. And I thought it was really cute, but I was like, that's a lot of chocolate. And because we had reserved the house already, I decided to keep it until we were moved in and then make it when we've moved in. But we've moved in summer. So I have to wait now until like December to make this. It's like a little chocolate gingerbread house, but without the gingerbread, it's chocolate instead. So anyway, that's staying there until Christmas. I've got the cutest little sandwich shop recipe cards. So if you like sandwiches, this one is definitely worth getting because each card is a little recipe with a picture of the sandwich, and it's just sandwiches. Then I've got all my sort of like baking ingredients. Sorry, I'm having to steady myself because I'm on my I'm balancing here, which you can't see, thankfully, because it's not a good look. But I've got all my sort of baking ingredients and some of the extra spices on this one. And then just above, I've got a few more baking ingredients, but this is more like flour and oats and things like that. And then we've got like breadcrumbs, pasta, rice, noodles. And then this is some muffin cases. So yeah, it's not a major organisation. It's just something that's nice and small. It means when I go into this pantry now, I know where things are and they're a little bit easier to see and a little bit easier to grab. And the bottom shelf looks so much better. We've put all the cookbooks on the bottom because they're the heaviest, even though we have put like a bracket, just a couple of brackets just on the top there. But yeah, this feels so much better. Oh, I'm happy with that. Okay, so I've grabbed all my stuff. Oh my God, I need to show you Daisy. Look at this baby just having a little nap with her eyes open. She seems to sit, I don't know, she likes that spot. It doesn't really get any sun. So I don't know whether it's like a cool spot or what. But anyway, I'll leave her to it. Oh God, do you not hate it when your hair just like sticks to whatever you've got on your lips? Okay, so I've grabbed all my stuff. I'm heading upstairs because I've got a few other things that I need to do up here. Oh, I need to run through my list as well. Okay, so I'm upstairs, I'm in my study. It's so much cooler in here, guys. I don't know whether it's because I've had the windows open. Well, yeah, it's definitely because I've had the windows open and I've got the door open as well, and I've like popped it open so that it won't like slam shut with any breeze. But the kitchen gets so much light in the morning, and it's almost because it's got the big patio doors, the kitchen window, and then there's a window in the back door as well. It just gets so much light in the morning, and I come downstairs and start making my breakfast and I'm like sweating. So yeah, we do need to take care of the sort of window situation. And later today, we do actually have an appointment with a blinds and curtains company. We've really just booked the appointment to get some advice and, see some samples, look at some recommendations, get an idea on what kind of prices they might charge, because they don't put prices on their website. I had tried to contact a local company, but they were basically just unavailable, as they're short-staffed, which is a bit unfortunate because we've used them in the past at my parents' house. So so we're gonna have this meeting. It's not until 2:30. So Danny will be back by then. He's gone to get his haircut and go see his nan. So we're finally dealing with the window situation, because at the moment the only rooms that have sort of blinds on them are living room, our bedroom, and one of the spare rooms. So we are still getting quite a lot of heat coming in from the light because we've got nothing to block it out. So so we're going to go on holiday. Basically, we're having this appointment. We're going to go on holiday. And then September is going to be deal with the window situation, so that hopefully we can have like rooms that feel a little bit more finished off, which is nice. I kind of wish we'd done it earlier, but I guess we didn't really know what we needed. So it's happening a few months later, which is fine. So that's happening later today. So I'm trying to get kind of like as much done as I possibly can. And one thing I wanted to show you was how I organize my days, my weeks, my month, my year. I have always been a huge person in love of organization. I don't know why, but like different planners and agendas, like I find them so interesting to see how different companies do it. And there's one in particular that there's the first sort of company I was really like obsessed with was Erin Condren, and they are American based. I did really like them. They were colourful, they were fun. I liked a lot of their layouts, but at one point they just kind of stopped working for me. Then I switched over to a company called Inkwell Press, which is also American. I still listen to the company founders podcast, which is called The Intentional Advantage, and it's by Tanya Dalton. I think that's her name. She is fantastic. She is like the productivity organization queen, and I love her. She spends a lot of time like consulting now, and I think giving like speeches and seminars and things like that. So I really love her. She's written a couple of books as well to do with organization, and talks about things like batch tasking versus multitasking. I find it really, really interesting, and I feel like I've learned a lot from her. So I would say in terms of organization, I've learned probably the most from her. And now lately I've sort of wanted to stick with more like British brands. Now, there's actually not a lot of choice when it comes to British brands, because I found that the biggest sort of planner companies out there were all American. Another one that is really, another two actually. I think it would be another one. It's called Passion Planner, also American, fantastic company. I've used their products before, also really love them, and I love how thin their books are, and they do carry more like a book, so they don't feel too heavy or bulky. So also highly recommend them too. They're all female-led, female-founded, and that's another thing that I hugely support. Anyway, the one that I've been using lately has been, and by lately I mean the past like 2 or 3 years, is a company called Ella Iconic. So this is my planner for this year. I've used her digital planners before. Also fantastic. That was how I got into them, because I was living in Canada at the time when I heard about her company. Her name isn't Ella, it's Rugile. I'm not too sure. I'm apologize. I'm really not sure how to say her name, but it's Rugile. She's not of English descent, which is why her name is a little bit different, because I have no idea what her last name is. It's not an English name, but she's lived in England for, I believe, a very long time now. And I think she started in marketing or something. That's her sort of background. And then she went and launched her own planner business. So I also love, like supporting her and her business too. So this is the planner that I've been using. It's quite a chunky one. It's not thin, but this one is a daily planner. You can get the weekly planners, which are much thinner. I'm not too sure how much thinner. It might be like about 2/3 to about half, somewhere between there. I've really, really loved using this planner. Let me show you a little bit about how it's set up. I will go to, should I go to November? Because I don't think I have anything written in November at all. Nope, so I can show you November. Okay, so each month starts out with like a bit of a landing page. So November is like a thankful one, which coincides with Thanksgiving. December actually starts with a couple of Christmas pages, but they typically don't. I think that's the only one that starts with like a different kind of page. And that's just because it's essentially coming up to Christmas. So yeah, so each one comes up with a bit of a landing page. Then you've got your to-dos and goals, and you've also got a nice blank sort of dotted page on the other side. So you can see, you can note down your key dates here. You've got everything kind of separated into categories. So you've got business and career, home and family, health and fitness, personal, and then down here you've also got remember for next month and best memory from this month. So I love this setup because it really gets you to think about what do you want to achieve in that month, which I find very useful. And then this, I don't use this quite as much, but it is good just for noting down a couple of things. So like if November's coming up and you're not there yet and you just need to remember a couple of things, this is a great spot to just write some notes down. And then you've got your month at a glance. It's all on 2 pages. You've also got the side for notes, and she sort of picked out a few key dates. But other than that, it's not too fussy. Then this is a couple of pages that I don't personally use because I use Google Sheets instead, just so that I can access it from pretty much anywhere. So if I'm looking at my finances, I can do that. Whereas this is really handy if you kind of want a little bit of a quick go-to on your financials. So you can sort of note down your income, separate it out into different categories, note down any variances. Then you kind of set your budget for different categories, and then you set your budget for your like needs and wants, and then you've got a little section for savings as well. Okay, then we have like a progress tracker. So those goals that we kind of mentioned over here, these goals, if you want, you can put them into those categories. However, she has left this blank so that you can put your own categories in there. So if you wanted to separate it out by a slightly bigger goal with like little mini habits that you want or anything like that, or you could do it as a mood tracker, or literally whatever you want, and it's by month. So you don't just have the 4 categories, you have about 5 lines per category, which is amazing. So you can track a whole ton of stuff here. I did start using this, and I don't know, I'm not a habit tracker person. So for me, I'm not really fussed about whether this is in here or not. However, I have used it in the past. It was really good to see if I was on track. So really just use it when you want to, and if you want to. But the nice thing is it's a double page spread. You've got tons of lines. So you've got plenty of option. You don't have to feel limited. And then we go on to kind of like the daily pages. Now, because it's a daily planner and it's already huge, the Saturday and Sunday is broken down onto one page versus having its own page. So we'll just ignore that for a second. But each week starts off with like a week overview, and it's broken down into business and career, home and family, health and fitness, and then personal. So let's say you were on like a fitness plan and you wanted to be like training on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You could write what your training is that you're doing. For home, like you can use this as a meal planner if you wanted to. You could use it as like appointments if you've got like a family that have a lot of different things going on. Maybe you've got kids that have like after school programs, things like that. And business and career, maybe you've got like appointments, not appointments, a meeting that you need to remember, or you've got like a specific work function coming up and you need to remember. You can pop all that in here. And then personal is really for anything. Maybe you've got your own like nail appointment, hair appointment, whatever it is. Maybe you need to go pick something up. So this is a really nice sort of week overview page. And then you go into the daily pages. So you've got your your day at the top, which week it is, and the date. You can write a little positive message in here, which I have found when I've had sort of like moments where I haven't felt 100%. I found that really useful to just write a little positive message to myself. You've also got today's priorities. Then you've got business and career, all those categories again. So if you've got your month, you've got your week, now it's time to kind of break it down by day. And then you've got today's schedule plus your meals at the bottom. So you've got breakfast, lunch, dinner, and you've also got space for snacks. So every day is sort of set out in the same way. So in terms of extra pages, there isn't quite as many. I think that you've got some notes pages at the back. There's like a page for looking forward to next year. I'm not going to fully show you this because I've got obviously quite a lot of notes in here, which I don't really want everybody knowing about everything in my personal life. So I'm just going to keep that one to this. However, I can tell you that I've actually ordered next year's already. So she sent out like a notification earlier this month and let everybody know that the 2026 planners were coming out. And they got launched on the 26th. So I've ordered next year's planner. I've done something a little bit different. It's not going to be the same style planner. I've actually gone for like an organizer, like a folio. So it's got like ring binder to it. And it's in like a faux leather case. And the inserts are actually a week at a glance rather than like a week on 2 pages, rather than a day per page. So it's going to be a different layout. I found that as much as I loved the daily layout, it was really good when I wasn't really that busy, but I still had things I wanted to do each day. I found it really useful for that. However, I'm finding that I'm noting things down a lot more, and I'm actually now using a separate notebook. So this notebook has become so handy lately, and I pretty much carry it everywhere. It's a really nice thin one as well. And this one is from Millie Illustrates. It's from her travel collection, and she is an artist. She does primarily like travel prints, but she does do a few others as well. But I love the artistry. And I do have a few of her actual art prints. I've even got one of her jigsaw puzzles as well. I love her as an artist. She's great. And yeah, so I got a few of these notebooks, and I've just started out with like writing the date at the top and then literally any notes below. Now, I feel like a lot of people would say, well, why don't you just get like a Moleskine, which has just got like a day per page, but no categories to it, no times on it, nothing. It's just literally like a lined page with a few slots for times. I've had one in the past. I don't really like them that much for how I function and how I organize my day. I like to have those categories. So what I'm doing now for next year is next year's planner is going to be a week on 2 pages. I'm going to do a very light plan in that. So it might be things like meal planning, like appointments, things like that, any sort of like household essential things that I need to do. And then I've ordered like a matching notebook. I think it's matching. I think the folio is in chocolate burgundy and the notebook is in just burgundy. It's not got chocolate burgundy in the name, so I think there's going to be a slight colour difference. but essentially they'll match. But yeah, I have found having a notebook so much better. Because I can scribble on it, I can make it messy. It's there for ideas, it's there for brainstorming, it's there for that quick reminder to yourself that, oh yes, I need to do that. Also, a notebook is going to be so much easier to carry around, and I'm not going to worry about it getting messed up or like damaged in my bag or anything, because it's just a notebook. I have a lot less, I don't know, in a planner, I like to have things looking very neat and tidy and very organized. Whereas in a notebook, I don't mind getting messy, because that is literally what I'm using it for. So I can put Post-its in it, I can put little bookmarks and paper clips, and you know, I can, like, if I find a flyer or something, I can shove it in. Like in here, I've got some like loose pages from like other things, where I just scribbled down on other bits of paper, so I've just kind of shoved them in. But also, a notebook is so much lighter than a planner. And I hate carrying this around with me all the time, because it means I need a bigger bag, and I want to be able to carry a smaller bag with me for the most part. So even though this is sort of the same, like A5 sort of size, it's much thinner, it's much lighter. I can put it in a smaller bag rather than a big tote bag. So yeah, so while I've been sort of like trying to plan like my social media videos and posts, I've been trying to plan what to actually talk about in my YouTube videos, get a little bit more structure to it, a little bit more purposeful. What I've been trying to sort of brainstorm different blog posts, and you know, if there's something not working on the website, I can just note it down and get to it when I can get to it. So like for today, I have set up my day in terms of like the reels I want to post. Then I've put YouTube editing that I want to do, what I want to film for YouTube, what I need to do for my website, and then any sort of other social media kind of things to note down. I've put them there. So that's kind of everything I've written down for today, and I have so much more space. I don't need to put it into categories, because it is literally just about my content creation sort of process and ideas and things like that. Whereas the actual planner has things like health and fitness, it has home and family, it has personal goals, that kind of thing. And I need a notebook for all the sort of content creation things, so that I can just kind of categorize it into one section. That is all that this notebook is for. Yeah, I hope that helps sort of explain how I organize everything. Sometimes there's so much going on in my head that I have to get it down on a piece of paper, because otherwise I'll forget, or I'll be mid thought process on one thing and I'll think, oh, I need to do that, and then I'll continue what I'm doing, or I'll end up switching tasks and forgetting what I've been doing previously. So it just kind of helps me make sure that everything I need to do gets done and gets all those sort of like busy thoughts out of my head and onto a piece of paper. Because sometimes something will pop up in my head and I'll be like, hang on, no, it's okay, I'm pretty sure I wrote that down, we're good, I can forget about it. And then when I have time, I can come back to this notebook and go through everything when I've actually got the time to dedicate focus to it. Yeah, I would love to know how you organize. Do you guys have a planner? Are you as obsessive as I am? I don't know, like not everybody is. Not everybody even has a planner. Some people just use their iPhone calendar, and I do use my iPhone, phone calendar. Not everybody has an iPhone, but I do use my calendar. It's for specific things. So it's for like, oh, I have lunch this day at this time with friends, or I have a hair appointment on this day. And I just kind of use it as like, that's my go-to appointment things that I need to do. This is my brainstorming ideas, scribble notes kind of thing. And then my week's planner is just to help me set up for the week. Like, which day am I going to focus on the website? Which day am I going to focus on YouTube? And which day am I going to focus on social media? Let me plan that out. So yeah, it sounds a bit complicated, but at the moment, this is the method that is working for me because I have a full-time job and then I'm doing this pretty much every single day. So if I'm not filming for YouTube, I'm also editing videos or I'm editing the website. So it helps me keep everything organized. It helps me not feel overwhelmed. And it was also really good for me to sit down and say, I need to not work on this every single day. I need to give myself a break so that I don't burn out. And that's been really good because it means that with Danny, I can say, okay, Monday, Tuesday, I need to prioritize these things. Then it's us for the rest of the week. And then on Saturday mornings, when you're still laid in bed, because he likes to lie in on the weekend, I can go do some stuff and have like a nice quiet moment while I organize, or film something or take photographs of something or edit something. Like I have that time to myself on a Saturday morning, which is great. So it helps add balance to my personal life, my work life, and my like dream goals as well. I hope that helps. I'll put every planner that I have mentioned, I will put all the links in the description at the bottom. Not one have I had a bad experience with. They've all been fantastic companies. The only thing I will say is that if you're buying one of the American ones, just be aware of any customs fees or tariffs or anything like that. So yeah, I'm sorry I've only got one UK based recommendation. I know there are more planner companies out there that are UK based, but Ella Iconic is one that I have actually purchased from. I haven't really purchased from any others, so I can't really speak to them. If you're a planner company though, if you know a planner company that is British based, please give me a shout and let me know. I would love to see what they've got. You never know, I might find something even better one day. So yeah, let me know. Good morning. So I actually skipped yesterday. Yesterday was so busy. We had to like tidy the house and everything and make sure everything was clean and ready to go. Because today we are setting off on holiday. Sorry, I'm just unplugging my Dyson Airwrap so that I can get it packed. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much packed. Let me sit on the floor. I'm too old for this. Okay, let me turn the camera around. Okay, so let's see what I've got. So I've got all my clothes in this side of the suitcase. I also have a lint roller and a pair of shoes. My other shoes are going to be going in a different bag. The only thing I need to add into here is a couple of shirts, which I'm taking just for like if we go anywhere a bit nicer for the evening. And then all my sort of like cosmetics, underwear, random other accessories are going to be going on that side. So yeah, I've got all my cosmetics packed into here. So this is all my sort of like liquids and sort of other bathroom toiletries. And then I've got all my makeup in here. I've even got my eye mask, like any of the random accessories I might need. So I'm just getting everything packed up. I've just done my hair. I've got a really nice comfortable dress on today. I've got my Uniqlo one, which has the built-in bra, so that I didn't additionally have to wear a bra, because basically we're going to be driving for, I'd say about 4.5 to 5 hours. It's going to be a long drive, and we're going to stop on the way. So I figured I just wanted to be comfortable, so I've got this. I've got a jumper that I can put over it. I've got a jacket, and then I've also got a raincoat just in case, because apparently it's going to be raining all week this week. So we'll see what happens with the weather. And then yeah, I think I'm just going to put a pair of ankle socks on, and I have some Adidas, like pale grey Adidas shoes. I'm not too sure what style they're not Sambas, they're not Gazelles, but they're not sort of far off that style. I can't remember what they are. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description for you guys, and I'll show you them to you later. Yeah, I'm excited. Yesterday was such a busy day. just trying to get everything ready. I was absolutely knackered by the time I sat down. I just sat there with my hair all wet and couldn't be bothered to dry it. So yeah, so yesterday was a busy day. We've got to go pick up my parents. It's about, I'd say it's just gonna about 7:30. We're gonna go pick up my parents at about 9, so we're gonna have breakfast still, and then we're gonna be on our way. So I'm gonna leave the vlog here so that I can film as much as I can of our trip all in one video for you. Hopefully it won't be more than one video. So this one might end up being a little short. So if it is, I'd say I apologize, but I don't know if you prefer short videos or long videos. But either way, I try and make sure that whatever length it is, it has content in it, and I'm not sort of blabbing on too much. So I figured if I end the vlog here, and then I film all of our trip all together, then hopefully then you can just sit and watch whales, because not actual whales, I don't think we're going to see any whales, but just our trip to Wales. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one.